This wildlife are our national heritage. A way must be found to allow them space, but also do not disadvantage communities that are living with them. This wildlife are generating substantial amount of money. Masai Mara, for example, rakes in between 4 to 5 billion from Narok County, gets between 4 to 5 billion shillings from Masai Mara. We all know that Amboseli gets well over 3 billion annually, and therefore there's money from this wildlife that communities must benefit from. Of course, the biggest national parks in terms of revenues will be Mara number 1, Amboseli number 2, Nakuru number 3, Savannah, those statistics exist somewhere. So I hope I have clarified.
No, you have gone the political route. Let's go back to the lawful route, because it is easy to say the president proclaimed, but our job as a committee is to ensure that even those presidential proclamations, for them to take effect, there has to be adherence to the law. The president can say we shall tarmac this road, but procurement needs to pursue certain processes. We want to see the 3 billion in this ROR, and that's why we're having this conversation. And I think you didn't answer the question that Senator Maruma asked, because there was a task force that was supposed to ensure that the presidential proclamation is effected within the confines of the law. Can you, I don't know, your county attorney is itching to say something.
Governor, Chair, in addition to that, I've heard you have said that the community, which I want to believe through the chair, because we are looking at the receiver of revenue, and we thought when you get Amboseli, revenue from Amboseli, it will even resolve the issue of pending bills and running of the county. You have indicated that the community donated, which I want to believe the regime of ownership of land in Kajiado is communal land. You have said the community added the Amboseli 1 million acres. So maybe in answering what the Senator Maruma is asking, then were you handing over to the task force or now to the county government, which is the custodian? How did you hand over these 1 million acres to ensure that, and we agree with you, we want to protect wildlife, you want to get revenue, we want you to run the Amboseli to get more revenue for the development of the county. So when you say you added 1 million acres, and you are saying the same people, community who gave out the land are now demanding, where is the value for the 1 million we added for the Amboseli? So maybe you can add that.
So let's take it in 2 steps. Let's first understand what it is that you have done or that you have not done to ensure the 3 billion reflects in your statements. Because you see, even if KWS was managing the park, but it is your asset, you can designate KWS as a collector of revenue. They can be collecting on your behalf. I think that's a framework that is allowable. You don't have to send your people there to collect the revenue. You can do an MOU with the receiver of revenue to ensure that this matter.
I think I will deal with this matter, Chair.
Okay, Governor.
The county
okay, so deal with the law, not the politics.
Yes.
You have explained the politics well.
When this pronouncement by the president, the head of public service was tasked to midwife the process. The head of public service have in several occasions as the citizen participation, all that is in a document. And therefore, I think the question of how has the legal way gone by is not my question. I think it's a question of the head of public service, and it is only upon completion of that that they can ask the president to come and perform the ceremony they have done. So while I agree that there is a bit of a political conversation of it, there is also
Complete.
that is complete, and that is only the basis upon which the president can be asked to come and hand over the park.
So
the
what
management of
is
the park.
KWS, a national government agency, asking for when a task force presidential proclamation, the
the Attorney General, because that's an independent office, the CS for wildlife, and also task force, so that we can sit together with the county government of Kajiado, because presidential proclamation should just be the law, because the process should
I think, honorable members, we are in agreement that we shall prosecute this matter comprehensively in a separate meeting. It is extremely important. Due to time,
so that we can have maybe that addition, because Taita Taveta is also pursuing its benefit, which was given through a presidential proclamation. Why? From the same, no, now it's Savo. Why can't you have then also the governor of Taita Taveta?
I think that is now as a committee to organize ourselves in terms of correspondence, but at least now we are agreeing with the governor that this matter requires a proper, thorough inquiry. The other significant revenue stream for Kajiado is a matter that we have discussed here repeatedly, is the issue of Magadi. And the last time you appeared, your county attorney informed us that there was a ruling that was coming up either that day or the following day. And so we agreed to wait for that ruling. Could you give us an update on Magadi, whether you have been able to collect the revenue?
Thank you, Chair. Let me ask the county attorney to come on this Magadi issue.
Thank you, Excellency. Honorable Chair, yes, we did receive a judgment by the Court of Appeal. Honorable Chair, it didn't go in our favor, and we have since appealed to the Supreme Court for final determination of that matter.
What was the decision of the court in the matter, in the Court of Appeal?
The Court of Appeal, just to give a history, the High Court had actually ruled that we were entitled to the rates and that the Finance Act 2014 was legal. So they appealed against the High Court judgment, but before that, the High Court had actually ordered arbitration before the CS Mining. They walked out of the arbitration and went to Court of Appeal. They are saying that they should not pay those rates because, first of all, they are saying that they have a lease with the national government, and they are disputing the form of rating. They are saying that there is lack of evaluation role, and the county government did not have evaluation role before 2014 because it was a local council. So there are issues of law that we have picked that will want the Supreme Court to clarify. One, there was no county government that had evaluation role in 2014, especially from local council. Two, Magadi is operating without a CDA. That is in the mining, the requirement in the Mining Act. Three, they are obstructing water, not paying any permits to the national and county government, and so many other issues to do with the community affairs. So we will want the Supreme Court to have a final determination on this matter.
If just out of curiosity, if what is in contention is the 2014 Finance Act of Kajiado, what does your current Finance Act require of persons who, are in possession of land?
Chair, this brings the question again about devolution and the ability to enforce the same. That is required. By law, every second year, a financial bill is prepared through citizen participation and all those processes, and people give their input. We have since made a number of finance bills, and investors always come to give their opinion and argue their case on what figure should be charged. And many a time, they do lobbies as associations, land associations, people in business, all that. And therefore, what we are claiming then was the money for the finance bill that time. Along the way, the land rates will keep changing. So the more recent finance bill will have different land rates, unlike the previous one. In some instances, you'll find the rates going up and down, depending on circumstances, depending on the lobbies that are being put across, and also on how to spur business. So really, if we are able to support county governments to enforce the laws they make, the argument that county governments should be able to collect sufficient on-source revenue to reduce, they are going to the national treasury to always begging for more funding. That is the question earlier on we referred to. Yes, counties have potential to do more, but we need to reinterrogate our legal framework whether it is fully supportive of that.
Are they complying with the current Finance Act?
No, they're not. They're not complying with any. They are saying we are in court, they are not. And if the two levels of government were working together, they will have nowhere to hide. They continue to draw support from national government and therefore weakening the space of county government.
Senator
In protecting devolution, the two levels of government must work together to help the county governments grow to a level where they can stand on their own. Thank you.
Senator Muruma?
I'm wondering, Chair, if it is for a fact that before 2014, the county government of Kajiado had no valuation role. I thought there was some outdated old valuation role in 2014. And maybe which valuation role is Kajiado using now to charge the rateable land in Kajiado?
There are many ways to charge land rates. Of course, the main one is the valuation roll. And we are now at the tail end of completing the preparation of a valuation roll that we've been working on for the last 3-4 years. So soon we'll have a more valid valuation roll.
My question is, like in my county, we're using the 2006 valuation roll. Is it for a fact that Kajiado has no valuation roll at all that is working, that we must just use the Finance Act?
Of course, that could have been part of the issues for determination at the Court of Appeal, isn't it? The last time you were here, we had said we were going to do an inquiry on the matter. The reason why we didn't move was because the matter was still in court, and we had not been properly briefed on the outcome of the court process. Now, you have indicated that you have gone, because now that you've lost at the Court of Appeal, you have moved to the Supreme Court.
Attorney?
Yes, Chair, because there are some constitutional issues that have not been resolved at the Court of Appeal.
Okay.
Yes.
I think, legal, Mitch, you will need to review the decision of the Court of Appeal and then update us on what matters are before the Supreme Court and what matters we can interrogate as a committee or as a Senate. What would be the revenue potential if this entity was to pay rates as per the current Finance Act? What would be the annual revenue?
Let me check whether the receiver of revenue, Vera, what will be our annual revenue from Magadi? As she gets ready, Chair, Magadi currently occupies 240,000 acres of land. The lake, which has the mineral trona that they get this mineral from, is about 8,000 acres. The court ruled that the lake area is not rateable because it's a mining thing, so the Mining Act will apply for that. So we are basically charging Magadi land rates that we are charging every citizen in Kajiado for the difference of about 220,000 acres. If you have a plot, Honorable Chair, here in Kajiado, there is a land rate we pay every year. And everybody is paying that. That is the rate we are contesting to say, this is not a mining area. This is a wildlife and livestock grazing space. Like every other citizen paying for their land rates, you must pay for it. And therefore, it will be quite substantial.
And for the record, many of these members here are paying rates to Kajiado.
Every year.
Senator Cherargei is a leader of our SACCO.
Yes.
And our SACCO has invested
We have invested heavily
in Kajiado. So even us, the senators, we are paying rates to Kajiado.
Yeah.
So why should there be
Leave
certain
alone you,
exemptions?
even Mama Mboga Chair, even a Mama Mboga with her plot is paying for the same.
Yes.
So to allow, this is what I was talking about, rogue investors, to allow a multi-million operating enterprise not to pay land rate is basically to sabotage the whole economy.
Have there been conversations of converting it into an SEZ?
Chair, can I give it global argument? Even in Nandi, we have similar situation where the multinational companies who own tea estates are paying the same land rates with ordinary wananchi. Yet it is more commercial and more viable because they should pay high. And you remember, Chair, on several occasions we have tried to increase the land rates for multinational companies that run most of the tea estates, even in Bomet, Kericho, Nandi, but they have refused. They want just to pay just like what you're arguing as ordinary landowners.
Yours are better, they're paying ordinary, mine is paying zero.
Oh, okay, so
Then yours is a serious historical injustice.
Members,
That one should go to ICC.
order. I think I'm very concerned about time. What is that? Have you gotten the computation? How much?
580 million using the current Finance Act.
580 million.
Yes.
As annual.
Annual, yes.
How much are they paying currently?
Zero.
Zero.
Yeah. And
Okay, Senator Murmo.
Yeah, that was for the land rates, Governor. But also you mentioned that you have not been able to do the CDAC, Community Development Agreement Committee, for the Trona. What are the challenges? What does the CS Mining say?
They have refused to participate in this. It is a question of enforcement. If the CS Mining denies them licenses and stops them from doing anything, they will come talking to all of us.
Okay, members, we have clearly demonstrated that if certain things were done properly, if the national government was playing along and supporting devolution, then Kajiado could potentially have additional revenue of about 3.5 billion Kenya shillings. 3 billion potentially from Amboseli, 500 million potentially from Magadi.
100% correct and more. Thank you.
So as we fight for counties to get more money from the center, we must also ensure that counties are optimizing their revenue at the bottom. And if there are legal bottlenecks, it is our duty as a Senate to help you to overcome those. But if they are just enforcement weaknesses, then it is your duty as a CEO of Kajiado to ensure enforcement.
So is it possible maybe for this committee, Swomoto, to invite the CS Mining to come and tell us the challenges he's facing in having that CDAC committee so that Kajiado can benefit from the 1%?
Yes, legal, you'll prepare a brief on the matter, bearing in mind that there are some issues before the Supreme Court, so that we are careful not to veer into things that have been sent to the Supreme Court for determination.
Chair,
and then we can schedule a meeting with the relevant CS and the governor.
Sorry for interrupting. I thought we had agreed that we'll do investigation into the issue of mining, and we were supposed to invite the CS of mining, if my memory serves me, even because Nandi, we have similar issues where under the Mining Act and Rules and Regulations of 2015, they were supposed to do a community development agreement where they gazette community members and they get the local content of, is it 2010, where 20 goes to county, the 10 goes to the local community. So I thought we had agreed we open an inquiry, including Taita, Kajiado, Nandi, Kakamega. And you remember there's a problem around mining. You remember the Shanta gold issue and many others.
That's correct. Yes. I think we wrote to the CS. The CS wrote back. We invited the CS and it didn't appear, but I think he filed some response. We can take it up. We can take it up and follow it up. But for the specific case of Kajiado, the only reason why we didn't come to visit Magadi as we had proposed was because of the pending litigation, to ensure that we are not sub judice. But our legal team will look into the matter and guide us appropriately. Honorable members, we cannot go beyond this time because of the many meetings that we have scheduled today. The County Assembly has done a good job by looking at the nitty-gritties, particularly on projects. There's a long schedule there on projects. The County Assembly is in the best position to give an update on project implementation. The Auditor General is already on the ground for the 2025-2026 audit. If there's a matter that we have not dealt with conclusively, or a matter that the Assembly did not deal with conclusively, please make sure it remains as a prior year matter. And please, on the few issues that we have dealt with, give us a comprehensive report in the subsequent audit cycle. With that, we will have to close unless there are any closing remarks. Let me allow the Governor to make his closing remarks.
Chair and honorable members, this has been a wonderful conversation. Absolutely many lessons taken on the disclose staff pending deductions and the other issues we indicated. We'll take it up very positively, and we thank you for the guidance. It's gratifying to have this conversation about devolution. Being the custodian of devolution, we all have a duty as a country to relook at what is causing these massive pending bills, the difficulties counties are facing, without making it look like a political, problem, or even making people look bad that they oppose government. I think as a country we have an opportunity to relook at devolution, because despite the challenges, the difficulties, the misgivings, devolution has brought a semblance or a sense of equity. It has brought a sense of equity. It needs to be strengthened, because current bottlenecks of remitting or giving money for 5 years back is a very bad, thing that we continue to face. The people of Kajiado look upon you, Senate, to give us justice. This is our park. It is historically correct, and therefore we are happy that you are seized of the same, and we look forward to justice happening. Thank you, Chair and honorable members.
Honorable members, we will need to close just to encourage the governor that Kajiado is capable of taking care of itself without begging from Nairobi. In fact, Kajiado is capable of supporting and financing the national government because its proximity to Nairobi, its vast resources. All we need to do is to ensure that we enforce. All we need to do is to ensure that we are ambitious. All we need to do is to ensure that we are confident that the Constitution has created Kajiado as a government with the powers, that are there in the Constitution. So we should not be begging the government to hand over Amboseli when it is rightfully for the people of Kajiado. Begging the government to talk to an investor in Magadi, and yet that land is within Kajiado. So we want to encourage you to have that confidence, and the Senate will support you to ensure that you optimize your revenue, you get additional finances, but we shall also hold you to account on the expenditure of those additional resources. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Honorable members, I propose that as the delegation from Kajiado leaves, we convene immediately for our next meeting. We wish you a safe journey back home.
Thank you very much. Thank you.